At this time, I'm going to open up a public forum, and I have received two speaker requests. And just as a reminder to all of our speakers, you will be limited to 3 minutes to address the board. So I suggest that you prioritize what you would like the board to hear from you. As you approach, just please state your full name and address for the record. So at this time, my first speaker is Mr. Len Cross.
Me again. Leonard Cross, 1586 Woodlawn Beach Road. And I'm back today because of the mask mandates, and just to kind of, put some things in perspective. It's been about a year since, everybody was saying 2 weeks to flatten the curve, and then it just, the goalposts kept getting kicked down the road. So we can look back and see where we were at, and then where we are now. And we're not in the same place that we were then, and to start to make moves in the right direction. And I would think one of the best things to do to start with is to remove the force behind the mask, because we're not having a mask debate whether it works, it doesn't work, or it's about force behind it. It's about somebody holding it there. And I personally talked to a girl. She said she's had anxiety attacks, and these things can cause a lot of fear when you feel like you can get in a lot of trouble, you can get suspended, or you're going to get sent to, and for a kid, school's their whole life. So their whole life has got this stuffed over their face. Now, as soon as it goes to voluntary, then that's gone. That's gone. Then they may keep it on, they may not, but it's still a voluntary act. And just like in our country, certain parts of it are opening up. Like we're blessed to live in Florida, where our governor can saw through a lot of the lies and deception, and he says, we're going to open up. This is destroying everything, and so the state did not follow the federal thing, because if everybody was following the president, they would have forced masks and forced needles in everybody's arm. But so that's not how our country is set up. The states are doing their thing, and the counties can do their thing also. So as the state's leading, then here, y'all don't need to look to somebody else to tell you what to do. Go ahead and be a leader, like Texas and some other places. They said, we're not going that way no more. So, but removing that force behind the mask is one of the main reasons that keeps me coming back here, because when I was in school, it was a lot like being in a box, and I really couldn't wait to get out. And I see that these kids need holes cut in their box, because this box, they're losing their ventilation. And so I would plead with you. That's why I keep coming back. I want to plead with you to start to make some positive action in getting life back to normal for these kids, where this constant fear and dread, and the contact tracing is just the same part of that, because it's the same thing they're doing in places like New York and places where things are so much worse because of the way it's been handled. We would not allow the contact tracing or the quarantining of healthy people to take place in other parts of our community. You can go into public places and places at work. This doesn't take place, but for some reason in this school system, y'all are still doing that same thing that they're doing in places that's proved an abject failure. It's an abject failure to start tracing people around and say who came close to who. And you take people who are showing no signs or symptoms of being sick, and you isolate them in quarantine. That's proved to be a failure. So you just kind of take the information you're seeing and not look to some far-off bureaucrat somewhere to say, hey, it's okay, because they have a different agenda. They have a different agenda, and it's not our kids. It's not for our kids, and it's not for freedom. It's not for liberty, and it's not what's best for our country. And I know I'm about out of time. I got my 3 minutes up, but good to see y'all again.
Thank you, Mr. Cross.
Okay, my second speaker, I'm not sure if this was on school boundaries or on something else, but Michael Pruden? Okay. All right. Is there anyone else who would like to address the board during public forum? All right, seeing none, public forum is closed.